This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET has what you need to win. Sign up today. You bet $100 and you get $100. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions to apply. All right, DJs, welcome back. Steve ran a solo yesterday, but your boy Boston Capper is back for the Genesis DFS breakdown with the God of Golf himself, Steve Shermer, and very special guest, Mr. Kenny Kim. Kenny, good to finally have you on, man.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure, man. Glad to be on with you guys. Looking forward to it. Should be a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we're talking offline. You've only had 2 drinks since the New Year.
2 days of drinking.
2 days of drinking.
2 days of drinking. Yeah, so one was the Caps Penguins game.
Okay. I respect
the Caps Pens game. I go to my favorite bar downtown, right across the street from Cap One Arena. I know the bartender there. He makes like these pint glasses just of Crown and Rocks.
Yeah, I saw you post that on Twitter.
I had about 3 of those, and my buddy had 3, and our bill was like $24. And
that's a win.
We're hanging out with some chicks, bottom shots, and so it was great. He gave like $150 tip.
Yeah,
but the great thing is, it's literally right across the street. So we just walk in, and we don't really. You have 1 drink at the stadium, and you're okay because you're already ready to rock, basically.
Already tilted. Yep. Love it. What was the other day?
Yesterday, Super Bowl Sunday.
All right.
Hey, I took it a little bit easy. I don't drink beer often.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a beer guy.
I
knew I had to work today, but I was at my boss's house. So I felt, and he was drinking. He actually
that's a free pass.
Yeah, well, he actually passed out by the third quarter, snoring next to me while I'm watching this game. So that's what happened. So I had like 7 beers. That's the most beers I've had. I mean, outside of a golf course, and as long as I can remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, do you? So when does the mood strike for you? Is it just around sporting events, or do you just kind of get like a inkling? Just all right, I'm gonna just let it rip tonight.
Well, the doc sort of told me I'm not supposed to be drinking so much anymore. So I'm getting a little bit older, so I'm sort of taking heed. The issue is I need some sort of vice. So of course, I've been smoking more pot and eating edibles and shit like that, and that's basically has been keeping me, level while I am not drinking as much. And I don't tell the doctor has no idea whether it's good for me or bad for me yet. So it's better than drinking where he knows it's bad.
It's bad.
So,
exactly. So you do sativa? Are you just a sativa guy?
Yeah,
like a sativa guy.
I mean, I don't really care. Just give me the highest potency shit you could find, and I'm good to go. Yeah, I'm good to go.
There you go. Well, you say you watched the Super Bowl yesterday. You had the big Chiefs bet. Congratulations on that. Capper and I did not. We had on the Eagles. So, any impressions on the game? I mean, to me, I had a feeling I was going to see on ESPN that Patrick Mahomes was going to pop for a PED. I thought he was done after he took that. The shot to the ankle. But
early. And he came back in the second half with Superman. It was. They gave him the right pills. They gave him the right shots.
I said he Paul Pierced it up. Like, listen, as a Boston fan, like, even I got on Paul Pierce for that fucking bullshit wheelchair thing. And, like, he does the same thing like LeBron does. If he misses a free throw, he shakes the hand for the camera. And, like, he was screaming in agony, and then all of a sudden he's back perfectly fine in the second half. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, they got good drugs in the
NFL. They do have good drugs in the NFL.
And I would say a little Cordol, you're good to go, man, for real. I mean, that's probably what happened. That would be my guess.
Yeah, there you go. So, why don't we transition to golf?
Wait, real quick before golf, I want to ask Kenny about hockey real quick. So, you're a big hockey guy?
Okay, not really. I'm a big Capitals guy. I love the sport, but I just don't really pay attention to anybody outside the Caps. Really.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say like I'm a humongous hockey fan. Like I watch the Caps games, but I literally don't pay attention to anything else going on in the league, basically, except my Capitals. So I don't know what that means as a fandom, because I've gone to maybe 50 games, favorite sporting events to go to. I've been going since I was a little kid at the old Cap Center down in Landover, Maryland, which is a hike. So I mean, almost 40 years of games.
Yeah. Yeah, the hockey impression is fucking great. I'm a big Bruins guy, and so you guys whooped us up after we came back off our break the other day. That was not fun.
Yeah, and
I didn't bet them
why I wore the shirt.
Oh, is it? Oh, very nice. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
I'm the same. I'm the same way. Like I know the Bruins up, down, and sideways, and I know like the Pens and the Caps and like the Canadians because I fucking hate the Canadians and like the guys who are like our rivals, like Tampa. But Western Conference shit, like I don't know. Like if I tripped over some of those guys, I wouldn't know who they were. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I just want. Do you bet? Do you bet on the Caps a lot?
No, I don't bet on anything but golf and football because the funny thing is like I live my life and I don't have many restrictions and I tend to do what I want and have plenty of vices. But when it comes to gambling, I sort of stick to my bankroll. I have like specific rules, and for some reason I can follow them. I don't know why, because I can't follow any other rules in the rest of the part of my life. But when it comes to betting and DFS, for some reason I can do it. I don't know. It's weird.
That's a gift that I wish I had. I'm so happy football's fucking over, so I can only bet golf. I am so happy football's over.
I mean, you'll find different ways. You'll probably get into USFL or XFL or something like that. You'll get that itch.
You're probably right.
Yeah, probably will. I know you too. We've done 230 shows. I know you very well. So, all right. So let's transition to golf. So, another elevated event, great event last week. A lot of basically the same players. We're going to run it back this week. So, Kenny, why don't you just kind of go over a little bit, just high level? What are some of the changes you're probably thinking about in terms of a player you want this week versus, Scottsdale last week?
Okay. Well, I mean, the biggest one is my pick to win. My favorite play, bet him at 14-1, even though last week he was my fade of the week in my article. It's Justin Thomas.
Okay.
Here's the thing about JT. I had him as my fade of the week last week just because he hasn't been playing very well. Right. He had a top 10. He had a top 10 in 10 events, that had outside of like the small 30-man field hero type bullshit events that he had. He just wasn't up there with at the same level with the other guys around him. Now, of course, JT can hit at any time, and that's basically what happened last week. And so, he gained 12 and a half strokes tee to green. Yeah. And the thing about JT is the man can get hot. Like if you look at his career and his finishes, you'll see a lot of his top finishes are all right next to each other. He'll have like a 6-week period where he has 2 wins and 2 other top 5s. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the way JT plays. When he finds something in his game, it sort of goes for more than 1 week, And so I think he found something last week in his ball striking. POA, it's his best, best putting surface to putt on. Nope. He's my guy this week for everything. He's one of my cash game cornerstones. I'm betting him 14-1. I'm thinking of breaking my rule where I play cash games like 45% and GPPs 55%, right? And so my cash guys who are in that lineup, I normally don't play them over 20% in my GPPs. Okay. Because I don't want one golfer being like 73% of my bankroll. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very conservative player. Right. And so I'm thinking of breaking that rule and going JT is my highest owned in GPPs too. That's how strong I like JT this week. I think he's going to win. He's the pick to win. If I had the balls, I would just take my whole bankroll and bet it on him this week. I don't.
That's
so I spread it around. but hey, there we are.
Because listen, I love JT too. He was my first bet this week. I think he figured out something with that driver. And he was doing whatever the fuck he wanted with that driver. And on Sunday, like just charging up the leaderboard. I love it. Same thing you said. Like, listen, when he can get hot, he can get going. JT's problem is always the putter, but it's the same thing with everybody. Like same thing we said about Scotty Scheffler last week. Like, listen, if he can putt, he can win, right? And it's up and down, and it hadn't been good in a couple months. And look, spikes it and forget about it. So like, I love JT this week. So you say you're a more conservative player. So I don't know. I mean, forever ago, we probably talked about cash versus GPPs. You got any nuggets you want to give to our guys about like how you manage your bankroll for like your cash game versus your GPPs?
Sure. Here's the thing. I want to play long run. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a rich man. I can't afford to lose like thousands of dollars a week. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And so, I bet about $525 in DFS a week. Okay. I will put $245 in one cash lineup. Okay. And so, I've been known for my cash game cornerstone. This is sort of how I made my bones. I've been doing this for, almost 8 years now. Yep. I've had runs that have been crazy with cash, and it's sort of kept me afloat. So basically, so I'm not going bankrupt and broke every year when I do this, which is very, very easy to do. You know what I'm saying?
Easy.
So yeah, very easy to do. So I played at 245 in cash, one lineup. So I played the same lineup in all single entry double ups, like the $100, the $50, 25s, a couple of them, and then it adds up to $245. And then I throw it in a $5 drive the green, and then my way doing GPPs, my goal is to win the $5 this year. I've won a few GPPs in my day, but like the last real golf one was like 2018. I won like a couple in 2016. You know what I'm saying? It's been.
You're like, oh, this shit's 2016. You're like, this shit's easy,
easy. Yeah. And so I was like, damn. And so it's been a while. It's and the last couple years I've come real close. I had a couple top 10s. Had weeks where I've had lineups right there in first place going into Sunday. That's happened like at least 3 or 4 times in the last year. And so that's my other goal. So I put the other bit of money to 200. I make 52 lineups in the $5, and I try and just win that. And so the cash is, if I win in cash, I'm going to win overall for the week.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And as long as you win like 60 plus % of the time, you're going to be okay. And that's sort of my goal. I had one bad stretch, but other than that, it's been around there. And I had 1 year, which is ridiculous, where I won like 73% of the time. I was like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, that sounds right. Because like, not to make you feel old, right? But before we got started, and like I was getting into golf DFS, I listened to you, and I did listen to you before you had Tambo too. Who was the previous host?
Brad.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, man, that's crazy. And Steve, I feel like you take the same approach on DFS, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm pretty conservative better too. With both DFS and my betting card, I basically just stick to, kind of like $5 games too, as cash and GBPs, and then with my betting card too, just very structured. I'm definitely a little more careful than my co-host here, for sure.
Yeah. I had the mini max last in the fall. Did I hit it in the fall?
That's one of the toughest ones to win.
So possibly.
It hit like $4,000. And I was like, let's try the 555. Let's try that. Let's do that. Let's try that. That lasted for fucking 5 weeks. I like min cash like fucking 3 weeks.
That's not bad.
And then one night, it's not bad. And then like one night, I was decided let's go 3 max after a few too many gin and tonics, and gone. That's what happened.
There you go.
I really do need a breathalyzer on my phone. Steve calls it the 2-key system. Like he needs to get I need to call him and ask permission before I'm allowed to place like late night bets.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like launching a nuclear weapon. You need double authorization at that point. So all right, why don't we take a break? My stream is all messed up, so I'm gonna hop off. You're gonna do the ad read, and then I will be right back.
All right, that sounds like a plan. Well, listen, WynnBET is the official online sportsbook of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. WynnBET is active in a bunch of states, and there's tons of ways to win, including live betting and same game parlays, aka WynnBETs. Build your own bet. Great promos, odds, and payouts are happening right now at WynnBET. If you're ready to play, go sign up today and receive a special offer. You bet $100, you get $100. It's limited to state availability. And of course, if you hit the biggest long shot parlay of the week, you get $1,000 in free credit. There's so much to choose from, and all you got to do is head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET so they know that we sent you. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. Offer is subject to change. Terms and conditions at WynnBET.com. Must be 21 or older. President State will play through WynnBET is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 522-4700.
All right. How's that looking now?
Much better.
All right, there we go. I'm not just this blurry screen that you guys got to guess why I want to hop in or not.
It doesn't look like you're witness protection anymore.
There we go. All right, so you're on JT this week. That's your big play up at the top there. So just looking at some of the guys above $9,000. Why don't we just start there? Where do you think ownership is going to shake out? As far as do you think guys are going to want to go back to Rahm after he played really well, or Scheffler, or do you think they're going to start maybe around JT, Rory, Xander, that range, and try and get as many of those guys in the top end, as possible there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the best ownership guru when it comes down to it, but I'm a chalky guy. Like every pick I pick is like chalk city. That's just the way it's been like my whole fucking life. And so I would guess Justin Thomas is probably going to be one of the more popular plays on the board. So I'm just basing that on many years of chalkiness when it comes to myself. So that would be my guess. I think a lot of people are going to start with JT and Xander as well. Because you could start your lineup real strong with about 2 or 3 of these guys, and that higher AK range, not bad. Even if you get to the lower AK range, not bad. You can go 4 guys, 8K and above, and feel pretty strongly about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I as far as JT goes, I think you're right. I think he's definitely going to be chalky. I think, he was struggling for a while there, and I think just anytime he gives some sort of semblance of, he's back, like he did on Sunday, making that charge, and he's finished second here. He probably should have won the year that JB Holmes won it.
Of course, he should have. JB fucking Holmes. God, slow play. Oh, awful.
I know. Yeah, I had a bet on JT that week. It was not great, but I agree. I think he can be really good at this course. Obviously, he's got a great course history. I think Rory is also going to be really popular. This just seems like a spot for him where, he disappointed last week in Scottsdale. That was his first United States event. Now he's got his feet wet going to a golf course that he has a lot of success at. He still hit the ball really good last week. I think people are going to recognize that and go to him. And then Tony Finau, I think that's another popular play. I like Finau a lot this week. He's got 2 runner-up finishes. He hit the ball great. Couldn't really putt very well at Scottsdale, but I'm big on guys who are really good around the green this week. It seems like, with anytime you get to a golf course that you have low driving accuracy rates, low green and regulation rates, they tend to be an up and down contest. And Tony has really improved in that area, especially out of bunkers too. I mentioned that in the show last night, that these are really tough bunkers to try and get up and down from. So, so I think of all 3 popular options, I think I'm gravitating more towards Tony. Maybe I'm a little biased because I bet him outright. I didn't bet JT. I had to pick, choose between them, but I think those are, fine choices. So Capper, what about you?
Let me ask you guys something first, right? So like, this is a course where you can see in the course history where it's like top five cut. You know what I mean? Like, this is a course that can fucking eject you. So how much are you putting a ton of weight into course history here? Or is it just based on the type of golfer that should excel here, right? But good on POA, good off the tee, good around the green.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a profile I'm looking for. Having good course history here does help. I think at this tournament, though, sometimes you have wind issues that, can affect some results. This is gonna be kind of a weird tournament too, where, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be firm. Sometimes the ball just bounces in the wrong area, and you can, it can get away from you very quickly at this golf course. So yeah, like obviously at Riviera, you tend to see the same guys do pretty well over and over. So it's a little bit of a combination I'm using as far as profile, history. I have noticed, though, over the last 5 or 6 years or so, because they haven't done too many alterations to the golf course, guys who tend to be a little longer have had a little more success here. That didn't used to be the case back in 2010 when Steve Stricker and Bill Haas was winning this event. It seems like the longer guys now, they can hit over a little bit more of the trouble than, they probably could, 10 years ago.
I got you. Yeah. So, I mean, I think course history matters a little bit. I don't want to see somebody who's never done well here, but it's like putting all your eggs in one basket when you see a guy like JT or Rory can miss the fucking cut here. It's a little terrifying. So, but yeah, listen, I'm with Kenny. I love JT this week. I'm hoping I can get some 6K guys out of you two tonight so I can figure out how I can stuff Scotty and JT into a lineup and not feel completely disgusted by it. Because I mean, look, what did we say last year? Scotty can't win again, right? And then he just went on an all-time heater, like a Jason Day like heater. So, yeah, I want to see if I can figure out a way to get 2 10K guys in there. If I can find some gems down in the 6s, because I'm fine with a lot of these guys in the 7s, especially in the high 7s. So yeah, I those are my 2 favorite up there. But I mean, I'm
pretty sure you can go Scotty, JT, and low 7s and not touch the 6s.
All right.
I think it's doable.
Well, so here's what happens, though, Kenny. I get greedy, and I'm like, all right, I want to sneak up into the 8s. How big of a difference is there between the $7,300 guy and the $6,600 guy? And every week they tell me there's a big difference after I put them in my lineup.
There's usually a pretty big difference.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, at least when you get to 7,300, 7,400, there tends to be a pretty big difference, I think, than if you got to go get $800 more and you go 6,500 or something like that, then you're really digging. I mean, I do that. Don't get me wrong. If I see something down there, because I like to be a little bit more aggressive in my cash plays, ever since it went down to 65 and ties from 70, tend to be a little bit more aggressive. And I like having 3 studs and then 1 punt play. That's usually how I go with my cash game cornerstones. One worry I do have for Scheffler is he drove the ball so horribly on Sunday.
So bad.
If he pull hooks it like that here, he's going to be in trouble. I know there's no water, but he'll get into those trees. Those trees will get in his way. He'll have to punch out.
Yeah.
And then, he'll be lucky if he punches out. And if he punches out too far, he'll have the other side of trees blocking his way for the approach that has to go to a dog leg right. So I'm a little bit worried about that. I mean, he's a great player. He can fix it. But he got pretty lucky on Sunday to win, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Steve, did he hit a green? Oh, not a green. Did he hit a fucking fairway on the front nine? I don't think he did.
I think he hit one, and I rejoiced holding the Scheffler. You finally did it. You did it. And then, I didn't think he having to sweat Nick Taylor as the guy that was going to ruin my Sunday. I thought it was going to be Rahm there, but no, he definitely didn't. He made clutch putts. He was really going to get up and down, but off the tee, I was extremely nervous, especially down the back. Like, he had the case of the lefts, and that's the one thing you can't do with Scottsdale. So
I can't believe he didn't go in the water on 10 or 11, whichever fucking hole it was.
On 11,
we were talking about.
Yeah, I actually brought my daughter, who's been a good luck charm for golf, and I actually held her during that tee shot. But I'm like, please don't go in the water. That's what I do. That's what I do. Thank you, Brooke.
Exploit the children.
Exactly. So a couple other things before we maybe move on to the 8K range. So it seems like ownership's starting to drop off around Tony Finau. Then you got Sung Jae, you got Morikawa, Burns, Cantlay. Morikawa missed the cut last week. Cantlay's been struggling. Burns played good. He should have won here at Genesis. And Sung Jae, even though he looks good in the stats, he doesn't really have good course fit history here. Can he do any of those guys pique your interest at all this week?
Not as much as the guys up top. I love Finau just like you. I'm going to play a lot of the guys Finau and up and sort of maybe miss this range because I like the 8K range too. So I can't really go hard here in the low to mid 9K range. I'm already playing too many guys up top, and I like the 8K range. So I think this is a range that I'm going to be skipping. It'll be scary, with Cantlay in there, Burns in there. I might play one of those two. I might give in. We'll see how the builds go when it comes down to it. For events that top heavy events like this, a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll play like a lot more guys in this higher range at like 20 to 30%. You know what I'm saying? And then I usually don't have a guy over 40%. Like 40% is my max for one player. I might go in a lower number for that guy and then spread myself a little bit 20 to 30 here, which would, the ownership, as we saw last week, I think there was maybe one guy over 20%. It was really, really spread out. So even if you're at 20%, you could still be over the field in the number, and you could still get a lot of combinations down here. Again, I'm a more conservative player. A lot of guys will go all in on one player, 80% on player. I don't go more than 40. And then I usually have like 3 or 4, 5 other guys where I go 30, a couple of 25s, and then the rest 20 and 10s for my personal ownership.
Like it.
Okay. I'm moving to the $8,000 range then. So right up top here, seems like a lot of people are going to be betting Victor Hovland this week. He's got drawing some ownership. I mean, obviously really good course history here. He's been struggling though. A lot of his ball striking numbers have been down ever since last fall. Hasn't really got off to a great start to a season. So Kenny, what are your thoughts about Victor Hovland this week? Do you think he can get it going at a Riviera, a place that's been really kind to him?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if his ball striking is good enough, that's why he's finishing so well here, because he's hitting so many more greens than most, and he doesn't have to worry about his around the green play. It's pretty – the greens regulation here is pretty tough. One of the hardest on tour. And if his ball striking is not on and he's out there trying to chip it once every 3 holes, he's in trouble. I don't like a lot of these top guys up here. I don't think I'm going to roster Hovland. I don't think I'm going to roster Willie Z. I don't think I'm going to roster Cam Young. We could go over those in a little bit if you want. But, I mean, I don't think I'm going to go his route this week.
It's so weird, right? So, like, when you think about what you need to be strong suited here, all the fucking bunkers, and Victor Hovland doesn't fit that profile in my head. But when you go over the course history, like you said, he's so fucking good here. I don't know. It's tough. His betting number, I think, was more attractive than playing him in DFS. At least what I got this morning, anyway. What do you guys think about Will Z? Is he healthy? Why? Like, he didn't play last week. That seems a little off, right?
Yeah, I mean, it does seem a little off. I mean, he looked pretty shaky at Farmers.
Mhm.
You said some very not so nice things about Will Zalatoris that I don't think we'll ever make the light of day.
No, yeah, a fucking top 20 bet, paying fucking juice on it. Like, there's no reason in the world, just completely fucking ejects. Like, I was so fucking mad.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
So I mean, I think he's got one decent finish here. Yeah, it's kind of a mystery right now. Like his iron play since he's come back from the injury has not been all that sharp. He has absolutely all the tools to do well at this place. You think about how he tends to raise his game on really fast, difficult greens. That is Riviera. Yeah, I mean, I think for me though, if he's drawing like 5-6% ownership, which I don't think he will, but if he is, I think you take a step. But if it's double digits or even mid-teens, I'm probably passing because there's other guys around that range that I like. So, Capper, why don't you go over some of the guys you like? I'm gonna hop out again because my stream is messed up. Let's see if third time's
all right, that's fine.
So Capper, take
that's
it away.
fine. That's fine. All right, sounds good. So this whole 8K range to me, Kenny, is like, I don't know, it's so hit or miss, man. Like I have questions about all of these fucking guys. It's a terrifying range. Like Cam Young should be good here. Huge off the tee, can't putt a fucking lick. Doesn't look good right now. But he's a guy who, he finished second here last year. Will Zalatoris, I don't know if he's fucking healthy. Jordan Spieth is, who fucking knows? Like this guy is impossible to fucking peg down. Like he is so frustrating to have money on, own in DFS, anything. He is the single he's not the single most frustrating. Kevin Kisner and Billy Horschel, when I have money on them or against them, they go the opposite way. Those two are the most frustrating people I've lost a shit ton of money on, which tells me I should stop. And that was my New Year's resolution, and I did for a whole 3 weeks. Tom Kim, like I feel like he should have done better. So I didn't see a lot on Sunday. Didn't show him a whole lot. I don't know why he melted down. I assume it was his putting on why he kind of dropped on the leaderboard. Do we buy into Jason Day? Is he back?
I mean, I'm in on Day and I'm in on Fowler. I mean, I think they're both back. I think Day seems like he's healthy. He's playing. I don't see him bending over all like he's an 85-year-old man to try and pick up his golf ball out of the cup anymore. He says he's the healthiest he's been. His performances have been extremely strong. I'm in. I'm in on Day. And then I have no problem playing him. My favorite play in the 6K range is your guy you can't read. It's going to be Spieth. Another guy, if you look, I think he gained like 8.5 strokes with his irons last week. If you look at his strokes gain approach numbers, he'll have like 3 or 4 weeks of like just out of this world peak iron play where he gets like 8 gains, 7 strokes gain, 5 strokes gain. It just happens like all back to back to back. And then he sucks for like 3.5 months again. And then he goes and like, then he'll have like 4 tournaments again where he's like getting like, 12 ball striking and 10 ball striking, and so you just got to catch him. And he gained 8.5 last week. But he could putt well on pole. If you watched on Sunday, he was putting for birdie from 10 to 15, 10 to 18 feet every single hole. Like he should have moved up so much. I had him. He was only 4% owned last week. So of course I had to jump on him. I didn't really like him on Monday, but when I saw him on that, I was like, well, fuck it. Go ahead and ride it with 20%. He was in my best lineup. It was inside the top 100 in the $5. I just he just couldn't make a putt. Now he's going back. He putts pretty well on POA. As well as he does, almost as well as he does on bent. So I'm hoping that putter gets there, and he's on one of these streaks where his iron play and his ball striking just goes ham, and he's hitting it pretty far. I know he hit one drive, I think like 349 on Sunday. Like he's got a little bit more juice than he used to. And so I bet him 35-1 as well, and I love him this week.
Yeah, I to piggyback on that, I love Spieth as well this week. So you talk about like what we're looking for this week at this place. Not a huge penalty to hitting approach shots from the rough, the fairway, because there's low driving accuracy rates anyway, and it's more important to be on the correct side of the hole, even if you're in the rough, so you have the best angle of the green. If you're in the fairway on the wrong side of the hole, you're not going to get to the pin. Probably going to end up in the same place anyways. Listen, we talk about Jordan Spieth. We don't really know where the drive's going sometimes, but he's hitting it far. You just said that, Kenny. It seems like he's added a lot of distance to his game. Distance has been a little bit more of an edge, the last couple of years or so. So I like Spieth in that regard. Obviously, you mentioned with the iron game, and then he's so good around the green, especially getting up and down from bunkers. There is a little bit of scar tissue though. With I think from when he was I think in the third round he was in the mix, and he ended up in that back bunker on 10. I think he took like 4 shots to get out of it though, so maybe that's in the back of his mind. But yeah, I love Spieth this week. I also bet him. Spoiler for tomorrow night.
My scar tissue is a little fresher when I had him first round leader and outright, and he fucking went from first round leader and then fucking ejected on Friday. Yeah, I was like, well, how does this even happen? He
went full Keegan.
Went full Keegan. Poor Keegan. Keegan's my boy, man. He's my favorite golfer. I need a new golfer to melt down so we can stop saying full Keegan. Like I feel I need to constantly defend Keegan. Right, Steve?
I'm a fan. I'm a Keegan fan. I bet him this week too.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely a fan.
I cashed the top 20 with him last week. I put a small outright on him just because I ran my mouth so much about him on our Sunday show. I had to put my money where my mouth was. But yeah, I cashed a nice hefty top 20 on him, and he squeaked in there because my locals don't chop top 20. So thank fucking God they didn't chop. Yeah,
there you go. So, all right, why don't we take a quick ad break? And let's talk about Piper Golf. So the sports game or golf game podcast is partnering with Piper Golf. So what is Piper Golf? So they offer premium golf balls at a little bit lower price than Pro V1. Listen, like most of you probably watching the show right now, you probably use a Pro V1, you probably use a more premium ball, but you're costing yourself money, and you probably aren't getting a lot of the benefits of using that golf ball to your game. And Piper golf balls actually come at a lower price, and they actually do a better job matching your handicap and your performance golfing to what you need. So they have 4 types of golf balls. They have the green ball, which is for your higher handicaps, gives you a little extra distance for anybody with some slower swing speeds. You got the blue ball, that's between handicaps between 5 to 15, basically your mid handicap ball. It's a good combination of distance and feel. The black ball, it's anyone from a scratch to a 12 can use it. It's got smooth, soft feel, a little bit higher spin as well. Some distance gains, but their best ball though is their gold ball. That's for anyone with a handicap less than 7. It's the equivalent of the Pro V1. It's a 4-piece urethane ball. It's got a high ball flight, soft feel. But what really is going to help you with Piper Golf, though, and what's really going to help your game is that it's got a lot of extra spin around the green. That's really the real way you're going to lower your scores. Is that think about all the times you're off the green, you skull it over, or you can't get out of a bunker or anything. With that extra spin that Piper golf balls provide you around the green, you're going to lower your scores. So go to piper.golf right now, and you'll get 10% off on your first order. You can even opt to subscribe and get scheduled shipments, and you'll get a 15% discount on any sort of mix of golf balls you like. And you get free shipping on any orders over $50. So go to piper.golf right now and improve your game.
What's the promo code?
Actually, I don't know if we have a promo code.
Oh,
I'll have to ask my producer.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta track it somehow.
We do.
God damn it, Cameron, you didn't finish the ad read. All right, anyway.
Well, that was me who did it on the fly. But
okay. All right. God damn it, Steve.
All right.
Use promo code GGP is what I was just told.
All right, under 8K. So Kenny, you already said you're on Ricky Fowler at $7,900. Who else in the upper $7,000 range right now is in your player pool?
I got 2 guys that I'm focusing on up here. First, Wyndham Clark. He has the length. He could putt his ass off. He's definitely well above average around the green, coming off an extremely strong finish last week. So I'm a big fan of his. I do worry his ownership might get a little high. Then I might have to think twice about him. Anytime you get a guy of his ilk, if you get him, if you're singing at like 15% or more, you're like, let me think about this one time. But one guy I'm going to play no matter what is going to be Taylor Montgomery at 7,600. Now, he was a guy I did not like last week because of how easy the greens are to putt on at Phoenix. These greens, extremely difficult. One of the hardest greens to putt on from like 10 to 15 feet, inside 5 feet. It's always extremely tough. And I like him better on these harder courses to putt on because, that's his shizzle. That's what the fuck he's good at. Yep. And he has the length well above average. Around the green play, well above average. You can pound it out there. People are going to miss greens anyways with extremely low green and regulation percentage. So as long as he hits a few out there and makes a couple of putts, he can get it up and down the rest of the time to save par. I like him a lot this week because we know the guy can ball out. He went through that stretch where he was just top 10 and top 15 every single event. I could see it happening again. Big fan, 90-1. I got him also. So, yeah, I'll give Taylor Montgomery, big fan.
All right.
Yep. I mean, listen, like he's got a lot of things you're looking for. Obviously, you talk about the length, really good around the green, great putter. That's really going to help here. And it seems like he doesn't have a particular type of surface because he just putts really well on pretty much every single type of surface. I have good numbers on him in POA, bent grass, overseed, whatever. So yeah, I think it doesn't seem like too. It seems like the ownership is a little lower. He's $7,600. He didn't do all that good last week. Maybe it's an opportunity to get some leverage on the field there. So some guys I like, just up in your top. I mean, Wyndham Clark, pops in the stat model. He looks like he might draw a little ownership there. I kind of like Sahith Theegala though this week. So didn't do very well last week at TPC Scottsdale, but this is kind of what he does. He usually alternates between a really elite finish and a really poor finish because he is really volatile. It's why he doesn't really show very well in the stat models because he can have a great iron week and a really poor one. So you don't really know what he's getting out of it. That's why the ownership is a little lower. But what you do know about Sahith, he's really good putting on POA. He's got some distance, and this at a golf course like this where there isn't much of a penalty for being in the fairway or the rough. I kind of like a guy like Sahith that can have a little bit of upside with off the tee. Really good around the green too. So if I'm getting a lot, like 5, 6, 7% on Sahith Theegala, a guy that I think is really talented. I like that this week, especially as like a little bit of pivot play over, like a Ricky or Wyndham Clark or Keegan, who might be drawing a little bit of ownership this week. And then there's some guys at the lower end of the $7,000 range that I know they're not playing well, but it is kind of shocking to see them down there. Shane Lowry and Tommy Fleetwood down there. Now, look, like I know that Lowry, didn't play very well last week. He was awful. He had the recent caddy change as well, but listen, we're only about a month removed. He should have probably won the Abu Dhabi HSBC over in Dubai over there. I think he was 54-hole leader.
Yeah, he choked it away
he choked it away, and then he had a horrible term of the next one, and then he fired his caddy. So he's got a new guy in the bag. If you want to play narrow street, maybe he just had to work out a little bit of the kinks. But I think he's just too talented to be $7,300. And you think about all right, this is going to be difficult conditions. You got to get up and down a lot. Shane Lowry's really good at that. Same thing with the Tommy Fleetwood too. Really good at getting up and down. Really great bunker player. And Fleetwood was really good last fall. I mean, he won a tournament. Like the ball striking numbers are great, and he just is a little bit off to a slow start. I mean, for a guy like Tommy Fleetwood, where the winning score here is probably going to be like 15 under, so top 10, top 20 range probably going to be like 5, 6 under. That's definitely doable for Tommy Fleetwood. It doesn't seem like they're drawing a lot of ownership. So those are two guys that I noticed in the the lower end that I really liked.
Yeah. So I share the same sentiment on Wyndham Clark as Kenny does. He looks like he should play, but if this dude's going to push 15, 20, everybody's going to love him. He is just the prototypical bite you in the ass when you finally jump on him when everybody else is on him, and he ends up missing the cut by 5. Never mind. It's not even close. It's just full eject mode. So I think maybe betting CAD where he can only hurt you a little bit. I love Keegan. I don't know if I'm going to play him in DFS. I'll probably do positionals on him again. He's just not good around the greens. I don't trust him at all around the greens. But he is long off the box. He's great with his mid to long irons. He's figured out putting, which is so fucking weird. Yeah, he just. I mean, I know he's gaining those last 2, but I don't know. Even when he was going through his hot streak, he was still missing around the green and things like that. So I think I'll just bet Keegan this week. And then so Shane Lowry, it's crazy that he's priced there. I think I just play him just because of the price. But I was thinking about going back to everybody's dialing last week, who I avoided because he was everybody's dialing, and it was JT Poston. Everybody was on him last week. I know he's shaky around the green, but I'm going to play a little flop lag, man. If he was I wonder what his ownership was last. He had to be high teens. Everybody was talking about him. He missed on everything except for off the tee. He's typically okay around the greens. Like when he goes, he goes. But yeah, I think this should be fine for him, man. He's long enough off the box. He putts well. So, or when he's putting well, he can definitely do it. I mean, he pulled off 1, 2, 3, 4 top 25s before The Phoenix. I mean, dude, I'll take that at low ownership. Right after he just burnt everybody the week before, when he's coming in, he's going to come in sub 8, right? I mean, he's at 3% now. That'll end up growing probably, but yeah, man, I'll take Poston, and then I'm going to stay on brand. And there's no reason why I shouldn't with Lucas Herbert. You want to talk about a guy who only chips and putts really well, and he's long off the box, and everything in between is a fucking mess. It's him, right? So if everybody's missing the greens and he's going to scramble to get up and down, why not him? He's the guy who I like when he's like 20 feet out. I'm not completely like, God damn it, this is 100% a bogey. I'm like, we got a shot. You know what I mean? Like, we have a shot. He's an incredible putter. He's long enough off the box. Same reason I was on him last week, but didn't work out last week. But I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back this week to old the ear. What do you guys think about Kitayama?
I never get him right.
Me either.
Like, I like him all the time, and then like I'll roster a bunch of them, and I'll miss the cut, and the next week I'll be like, nah, this ain't his thing, and he goes out there in top fives.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy's like a top fiver at miscut. It's like he's like the new Siwoo. You know what
right?
I'm saying?
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Siwoo's a lot more consistent nowadays. You can't really call Siwoo the old Siwoo
Because he got the good Korean wife, right?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Yeah, it could be one reason. It could be the fact that he needs to get as many starts in before he goes into the military. You know what I'm saying? And then he also wants to play in the Asian Games if he's allowed to before military service. They're letting pros play in that next year.
Are they?
Right now he's in third. They only take the top two, and the top two are Sungjae and Tom.
Oh no!
And so his ass needs to play as many freaking events as possible and try and win and get as many high finishes to try and jump. He probably won't jump Sungjae, but maybe he can jump Tom.
He needs a Tanya Harding him. That's what.
Well, they're all boys.
If it was between me and military service, I don't know what. Tom Kimmy's got years, man. Let Siwoo slip in there, man.
That's something that I've heard that he might let happen. But the thing is, you don't let chances like that slip away. You can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like you only get a few chances to not serve in the military. You get maybe 3 tops. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe 2 Olympics and 1 Asian game, maybe 4 if you're lucky. And I don't think you can not take it if you're invited. And so it is a team competition, I think, too, right? If I'm not mistaken, I'm not 100% sure.
No clue.
I'm not 100% sure. But
it's 2 years in the South Korean military, right? It's a 2-year stint. Man, that sucks.
Yeah. I know a lot of careers. I remember Sangmoon Bae at the President's Cup. That was his grand finale, and then I mean, I think he's down the Corn Ferry Tour now. It's too bad what happened to him. I mean, it's gonna be a black day when Siwoo, if he goes to the military, especially on this.
I mean, all 3 of these guys.
I know,
because it's possible that all 3. Even if one wins a major's not technically not a 100% guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? It's a medal in the Olympics or a medal in the Asian Games. That's it.
Yeah. Well, now at least Tom and Sungjae they'll have 2 shots at the Asian Games. At least Tom will have probably fucking 3, right?
Yeah, probably. Hopefully, yeah.
So at least they're letting the pros.
Or they could just do a Ben on and move and never go back.
Yeah, but that sucks too, man. Like, my best friend's South Korean, and he's first generation, and his whole family's still over there, and. Like he's like, I couldn't imagine not being able to go back. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
never mind. Like he's first generation. But you are too, right?
Yeah, I was born in Korea.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not even first generation American. I was born in Korea.
Okay.
I moved here when I was 3.
Okay.
There you go. All right. Why don't we help Capper out? And why don't we go down under $7,000? So Kenny.
Give me some gems, baby.
Yeah, what are some of your favorite dumpster dive plays?
Before we get that, I got to go over my favorite play, and it says Taylor Moore.
Oh, sure. My apologies.
7,200. Taylor Moore.
Love it.
Taylor Moore, one of my favorites. The guy is 3 straight top 15s, even against really, really strong fields. Really big fan of his. His game has been trending upwards, and I'm just going to keep riding it until he screws me or until he gets too expensive. So I'm riding him. Now, if we get down to the 6K range, I mean, Nick Hardy, he can hit it long. He makes a bit of sense. He's really good from like 450 to 500. Those longer par 4s. There's a bunch of those here. I think like 9 of the 11 par 4s are like 430 to 490. So you're going to have those lengthy par 4s. He's pretty good at those. Andrew Putnam. We were paying like $9,800 for Putnam, 3-4 weeks ago. The guy can putt out of his mind. He has an incredible short game. he's had good success here recently in his form. That's why he was $10,000 3 weeks ago. So I can get down on him at $6,900. Frankie Molinari, $6,800, played well a few weeks ago across the pond. His big thing is trying to add a little bit more distance off the tee, and you've seen that on the DP World Tour. He desperately wants to make that Ryder Cup team in Italy this year. I mean, those are some of the top end guys. I mean, I could dumpster dive even more if you'd like, but
I would like. I would like. I'm going to ask you a question because you're around my age, and I constantly say this. I had to send Steve a picture of this. That Molinari looks like the detective from the Pink Panther cartoon series from when we were kids. Do you remember that?
I vaguely remember that. Yes, vague. I used to watch it, but it's been so long, and the brain cells I have left are not there.
Fair enough. Yeah. I was just trying to get a cosigner. He agreed once he saw the picture, but I wanted to see if I was the only insane person who fucking remembered the Pink Panther detective cartoon guy.
I've been watching some old cartoons myself. Speed Racer. I've been watching the original.
Yeah, Speed Racer's the shit. Hell yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
There's only there's less than 35 episodes or something like that.
No, it's 52.
Okay, so it was short. It was way shorter.
Well, it's 52 episodes, but a lot of two-parters.
Yeah,
they're all like two-parters. I'm watching it all right now on Prime. Smoke a little doob, watch a little Speed Racer. That's like my nightcap. That's what I do nowadays. And the movie's the most underrated movie in cinema history. I've seen that movie more times than any other movie in the history of cinema. I love it. It's my favorite movie in the world. So I would love a sequel from those Wachowski brothers. It was like the first movie they did after Matrix.
Yeah,
I thought it was great. But, I'm in the minority on that one.
So, this is gonna make Steven say, but I'm just gonna derail this for a second. So you said favorite movie, right? And I know we both love a show that's insanely underrated. Where would you put Gomorrah in the Hall of Fame of TV shows?
Oh man, it's up there. It's top 10. Maybe even more. Maybe even better. That show is unbelievable. The acting is so great. The character development of the main guy is he going from little pussy boy son of the Don to the man. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And that final season, the way it ended was so sick. Oh,
it was perfect. It was the perfect ending to a TV show.
Oh my God, it was so good.
So many great shows get the endings wrong. Yeah. This fucking killed it. And the movie, the movie in between. You saw the movie too, right?
You know what? I didn't. I wanted to watch it. I might have watched it wasted one night. I do not remember. Yeah. But that whole series is incredible.
So good.
Incredible.
So good. Anyway, sorry, Steve. No one else in the world could ever talk to me about Gomorrah, and I had to just bring it up.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, then why don't we transition to talking about Johnny Vegas after that?
Let's go, baby.
All right. So
I love Vegas this week.
Vegas has been hitting the ball really good lately. Yeah. I mean, played really well last week, played really well with Farmers. I don't know. Maybe he was going to get a Saudi offer. It didn't happen. Now he's just, he's fully committed to the PGA Tour now. I'm not really sure why he hasn't gone to live yet, but he's still here. And he's still hitting the ball pretty good. If you just want really good ball striking from under $7,000, you get that. Alex Smalley's still hitting the ball pretty well. He's $6,900. You can go with that. James Hahn has been hitting it well. He's been having a little problems putting in around the green, but former winner here. I think he's got a couple top 20 finishes in his last couple of years too. That's somewhere to go to. Steven Yeager, he's worked on some speed training, hitting it a little longer. He gets up and down a lot. His course history stinks here, but that was back in 2018, 2019. It's not really relevant at this point. So that's an option to go with too. Yeah, Lanto Griffin's still down here, $6,500. He's still trying to come back from an injury, but I think he's more talented if he's right. He's definitely more talented than pretty much every guy above him. So, those are, some plays. And then, going back up to the $7,000 range at flat 7, if you really wanted to have a guy who's probably 1.5% that everybody in the golf gambling industry probably hates right now, you could probably go back to Cam Davis, who burned everybody for 2 solid weeks, including me. But listen, Australians have done pretty well at Riviera. He's really good around the green. No one is probably going to play him. So, and he's a talented player.
Just play the other Aussie, $200 more.
I like Herbert. I like Herbert too.
Cam Davis sucks. He's not good at golf. I don't believe it. He's not good. I don't agree.
I feel like he
burned
used to
me.
be. I don't know what happened.
He burned me at Amex, and like I don't know. I can't go back. One of those things. Like I'll end up going back eventually, but it's too soon. The scab hasn't even started yet.
All right. Well, that attitude right there is why he's gonna be like 1% owned this week.
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
also because he stinks at golf.
He very well might stink at golf. I will give you that, but he looks good on the stat sheet, though. I'll say that. So
Yes.
All right. Kenny, you got any other closing thoughts with DFS this week?
Oh man, I mean, it should be a fun event. I mean, a little bit easier. Hopefully, you would think to get 66 with only like 130 golfers, but you never know. So we'll see.
What? So I got a couple questions for you. What do you think? So I know we're in that year-long fantasy golf league. What do you think of the year-long fantasy golf so far?
It's fun. I like it. I just don't know how to go about it. Like, should I drop guys that I have? Like, I mean, like I've never done it before, so there's no guide. I'm like, am I doing this the right way? Like, like 1 week I didn't want to lose anybody on my bench out, so I only played 5 people. I think that's a mistake. I think that might be a mistake.
It is.
I think
I lost that week pretty handily.
Yeah, me too. I think I shouldn't do that anymore. So I'm trying to learn. I like it. It's fun. It's something to put in there. And my team fucking sucks anyway. So, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, Kenny, I like it. You beat me week 1 because one of your guys got a hole in one, and you beat me by 1 point. So
really?
Listen, yes, you did. You did.
Wow.
And listen, like I always get triggered in fantasy football when something like that happens. And I didn't think I was going to feel that way about fantasy golf, but I did. I felt not happy when that happened.
My bad.
Yeah.
Bro,
So like,
bad.
as far as like, I think it's more fun than I thought it would be. I think if I could just probably suggest something, because I agree. Like, there's some weeks where I don't really want to drop anybody, but I have to play like 4 or 5 guys. So probably expanded benches, I would think.
I would
just
say
to be able to have a little more churn.
I would say shorten the roster. It doesn't have to be
shorten the roster.
Yeah. So like your starting guys, right? It doesn't have to be.
So only play like 4 guys.
Play 5 guys, 4 guys, something like that, and expand the bench a little bit.
I mean, I guess but the thing is, like, doing it this way, you really sort of have to pay attention.
Yeah, true.
And you have to, like, I mean, last week I had plenty of golfers, but I picked the wrong golfers. The 2 on my bench went ham, of course, and I lost to Tybo by like, I don't know, 5 points, 10 points. I'm like, not much. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm trying to figure it out. And then you got to think, okay, well, this guy makes every cut, but he finishes like 58th place. Right. Or should I go with this guy who, can occasionally get you a top 25, but he misses a shit ton of cuts, and then, he's got to, I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, I'm doing the thing I do in fantasy football too, like where I'm like, all right, do I need a boom or bust this week? When I look at the other guy's roster, like I can project 2 rosters, never mind fucking 1. Like, let's analyze both rosters, asshole. Forget about that. So I think so just for the record, I did whoop Steve's ass this week, so that was fun. He conceded. What you sent me the concede text? I'm not reverse jinxing it. What was it Saturday? I think you said
no, because only 3 of my guys were going to make the cut. I still actually kept it pretty close with you.
You did.
Only 3 of my guys made the cut. I'm like, I've seen it for enough weeks. Yeah. This isn't going to go well for me.
Yeah, exactly. And then Kenny, are you coming down to Sawgrass this year?
No, I wish. I've been there. I went the year Rory went. I'm too busy at work. I'm the only estimator in my company. So if I don't work,
nobody
don't
gets paid.
work.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I'm sort of in a jam. That's what happens when you do a startup. You do a startup company, and I've done every job in the book so far for the company since I was the first hire, and now I am an estimator, and we have like 6 superintendents, and if I don't win jobs, people don't eat. So I don't have much time for any vacations. I wish I did.
I got you, man. Yeah, I was just gonna offer you a drink at No Blue. I know you like that spot a lot. So
No Blue, that's great, man. That's a great place.
Yeah, dude, I love that spot.
What's the bartender's name with the fat? It was a great place. It's a great place.
Yeah, and you're probably the only guy in there who recognized the golfers coming in as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I sat down with Brandon Chambly and the whole Golf Channel guys. Had a couple drinks with those dudes. Nice. The best was Sabatini. Hung out with Rory Sabatini. Nice guy, man. So I guess we were there and we were talking about him and his wife, the Serbian. It was his girlfriend at the time.
Right.
She walked by our table and she overheard us talking about Rory. We were talking about how if he did what he did to Ben Crane, back in the day where he just left his ass because Ben was playing so slow. He was like, fuck you, Ben. I'm just going to play by myself, and just walked to the next tee and just teed the fuck off and just went on while Ben Crane was still on the green. He got a lot of shit for that back in the day, right?
Yeah.
If he did that shit today, he'd be a fucking hero. You know what I'm saying?
Hero.
People would worship his ass if he did some shit like that today. And we were talking about that, and his wife overheard. And so it was me and I don't know if you guys know Sundog Monkey on Twitter at Sundog Monkey. So it was me, Martin, and another one of my boys, and she invited us to his table. And so we sat at Roy. He was drinking Silver Oak, pretty good high class wine. You know what I'm saying? Like $100 bottle. I mean, it's not going to break the bank, but still $100 a bottle, not bad.
Yeah.
And so we drank a bunch of his wine. He wasn't as chatty as his wife.
Right.
His wife was very chatty and very friendly and very cordial. He just stood there, a lot of nods, a lot of head shakes, stuff like that. Said a few words, but no, not rude at all. We drank his wine, sat there for a good half hour. He was a nice guy.
Nice, man. That's good shit. All right. You got anything else other than the shit you want to plug, bro? Or Steve, you got anything else?
No, that's it. Kenny, why don't you tell everybody where you can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at KendoVT. You can find my podcast on the Mayo Media Network. It's the Fantasy Golf. It's the Fantasy Golf Generous Podcast. Find it on iTunes, Spotify, all that good shit. YouTube as well. We do the video, and you can find my articles over at gupscorner.com. Use promo code Kenny. Save yourself 30% on a membership to Gups Corner.
Nice. 30%. That's a nice discount. That's a sweet discount. All right. Other than that, tomorrow night we got the bet. Do we have anybody tomorrow night, Steve? We don't have any.
Nope.
Right?
Just us going back and forth with the betting cards.
Sweet. All right. Well, listen, you guys know where to find Steve. He's over in our Discord channel. I pop in occasionally. You can find me lurking on Twitter at Boston_Capper. Other than that, fucking another elevated event, another good week. Let's fucking break DFS. Let's go.